this is something Jung studied in ancient philosophies, but ancient philosophies they talked about this as well. To become whole, or to become, used Socrates' words, to become happy, it's a journey, it's a process. We don't become happy by accident. There's something we have to build inside ourselves. It's not something that's just given to us. We have to work at building this inside ourselves. So to help explain this process, individuation process, I'm going to use an example to explain this. And I'm going to use the example of martial arts. And in the school we teach, we teach philosophical martial arts. And something very interesting happens when you enter into a fight with someone. So you've learned all the techniques, you've learned all the different moves, all the blocks, everything. But then you have to face someone, and you have to enter into a fight with them. And if you observe yourself, you'll notice things about yourself you weren't conscious of. You thought you're going to act in a certain way, but when you get into the fight, then you realize, oh, I'm actually doing things I wasn't even aware of. I'm doing things I'm unconscious of. So there's two behaviors. One is where we don't want to engage in a fight. We walk away, we try to deflect, and we don't want to engage in a fight. Eventually we walk into a corner and we're stuck. The other is where we get aggressive. I'm going to get you. I'm going to beat you. But the problem with that is we either end up hurting the other person, or we hurt ourselves because we go to an extreme. We lose balance and we bang our head against a wall or something. So we go to two opposites. Jung explains we have to combine the opposites that exist inside ourselves. We can ask ourselves the question, in life, am I passive? In life, do I avoid conflict? Do I avoid the battle? When I'm at work, do I avoid conflict? If there's something wrong at work, do I just avoid it and not confront the conflict? In my relationships, am I avoiding problems that are there? Do I not face them? In family and every other, do I avoid conflicts? Conflicts don't go away. They just keep getting bigger and bigger until something happens inside. There's a crisis. The other extreme is when we're aggressive. Are we aggressive in life? Not only in the battle, but am I aggressive with people? Am I aggressive at work? Aggression doesn't work very well, because eventually it's going to cause more problems. It might fix something temporarily, but then later down the road it's going to cause a lot more problems. So Jung would say we have to combine these two opposites, for an example, to be more, for example, assertive. Because assertiveness is the harmony between passivity and aggression. Because sometimes we need to step back and say, okay, I understand what you're saying there, let's talk about it. Sometimes we need to go into action. No, I don't agree with that. Let's talk about this to find a solution. So it's only through the battle, it's only through the fight we discover who we are. It's only through the battle we discover the unconscious part of ourselves. Because we may have an image of ourselves in our mind, this is the way I am, this is the way I behave. But when we go into the battle of life, we start to discover who we really are, our real nature. And we start to discover our personal and our collective unconscious. And through that journey of facing ourselves, this line of consciousness goes down further. It keeps going down. And we become, as with time, with work, with effort, we become more whole. We grow in consciousness. And the result of growing in consciousness means we become happier. The Greek philosopher Socrates explains that happiness is not something we have, or happiness is not something we get from the external world and having things. Happiness is internal. It's something that exists inside ourselves. The more we connect with our inner being, our inner self, the more happy we are. I'm not saying don't have, nothing wrong with having things, having a nice car, having a mobile phone, if that's a problem. But if we place our being or sense of value or worth in external things, well then external things come and go and we don't really feel happy anymore. It gives a certain level of contentment. So happiness is something we build every day in our life. How? By facing our dragons, by facing our demons, by facing life. There's a great sense of happiness or victory when we face something that's hard, face something that's difficult, and we conquer it, we vanquish it, we overcome it. And that was the great hope of Carl Jung, because he saw that people become much happier when they face themselves. and they're honest with themselves and to overcome something. And he thought that for humanity and for society to become better collectively, we all need to do that. The more happier people are in society, the happier society is.